Well, when those temps do get back into the 60s, when that weather cools down, more of us are going to be using our fireplaces. And the Mesa Fire Department is reminding us there are some things you need to do to make sure your chimney is ready for those fires. So make sure your chimney is inspected each and every year and cleaned by a certified chimney sweep. Now, during the holidays, make sure your Christmas tree isn't close enough to be ignited by a spark, and don't overload that fireplace.
Don't use your fireplace as a way to dispose of your Christmas wrapping or other material, because those could emit noxious fumes and create a great deal of smoke and also create more fire than what you would expect too.
Mesa firefighters say nearly 14,000 house fires a year are started by fireplaces.
Well, it has been cold in the mornings lately. Weren't you just saying that?
I was complaining earlier.
And at night, of course. And a lot of you like starting your fire in the fireplaces.
Yeah, if you aren't careful, you could run into some problems. So from fireplaces to fire pits, Forrest Smith with Mesa Fire is here this morning to talk to us just before you light that match. Forrest, good morning. Thanks for joining us. What do they say? Nearly 6,000 people are hurt every year due to fireplace problems?
Well, good morning, Jared, and good morning, Jamie. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have about 6,000 people who are injured every year, and we have about 14,000 fires annually throughout the country where there's a result of chimney fires. And so what we want to stress, and we appreciate you having us on, what we want to stress is just reminding viewers what they can do to stay safe and what they can do about their chimneys and fireplaces. As you can see up here, we're just showing a chimney, and one of the things that we want to remind your viewers about is the fact that you want to make sure that you have your chimney you want to have it checked out every year by a certified chimney sweep, and then you want to have that person make sure that it has a chimney cap, for instance. Those chimney caps with that webbing around that are designed to keep animals out and to keep animals from nesting in there, and so that tends to be the cause of fires. Another cause we see is that when you have that creosote, and that's an oily buildup of all the wood that you have burning on a regular basis, well, that tends to build up inside that chimney flue, and basically that's that liner of metal that comes up inside the chimney. A lot of times that creosote can build up in there and cause a weakening, which could also lead to fires.
Forrest, you can't just put anything in the fireplace. Tell me about the state of the wood that should be in, and also you can't throw your wrapping paper in there either, can you?
That's right, and that's a great point you make. But one of the things we would like to remind people is that you don't want to use your fireplace as a place to dispose of wrapping paper, because those let off certain chemicals that could also be deadly to you. It also builds up a lot of smoke. And so as you can see with this fireplace here, for instance, a lot of times people may think that if you overload it with a lot of wood, you can get a nice toasty fire. But these aren't designed to take on large fires like you would see in some chimneys in the Midwest with certain constructed homes. These lightweight constructed homes we have these small fire boxes which are designed for one log maybe. Now, another thing we want to point out too is that if you have a Duraflame log, you don't want to stack those up also, because again, there's that people get enthused about wanting to create a toasty fire and think if you put more wood in, I can get a toasty fire. But what you're doing is you're overwhelming that firebox, creating a lot more flame, which can then start to break down the materials around there. The combustible materials within your firebox cause more flame, which essentially can put your chimney on fire.
Yeah, and Forrest, a lot of us like to go outside and sit around a fire pit. What do we need to know about the fire pit?
Well, one thing that we can't stress enough is do not use gasoline or lighter fluid to get those fire pit fires going, because we've seen in the past where people use gasoline to try to get a nice big fire going, but unfortunately gasoline has vapors that come off there. That flame can follow those vapors and lead to an explosion. So we want people to make sure that they're diligent in not using other flammable materials to light those fires. Also make sure you're using an appropriate fire pit when you're starting these fires up, and then you make sure that you have your kids and pets away from those fire pits. You also want to make sure that you have it in a part of your backyard if you have a portable one that has a great deal of clearance away from combustible materials and from your home.
Mr. Forrest Smith, we appreciate you. Happy holidays to you if we don't see you beforehand.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you as well.
Thanks, Forrest. In other news this morning,